want to fart to start the podcast, Chris DiStefano?
I'd love to.
You got one? I'd be honored. And that's how we begin, live from Times Square at the Westwood One Lounge. It's time for the OpieRadio Podcast. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good. I feel like the last time I saw you, we were on the 45th floor above Times Square, and now we're in a fucking room that looks like people get interrogated in with a picture of David Lee Roth. Dude, I think I shit my pants a little bit because you made me force it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I just had a complete cookie, which is like a protein, low saturated fat cookie, and it just makes me fart.
What's a complete cookie?
It's like a new kind of like protein health cookie. Because you know me, I'm Chrissy Sweets.
I know you love your sweets. Is it the cookie that have the Jews on the labeling?
Yeah,
I know those cookies.
It's the Ari Shafir cookie.
It's like eating. It's so dry.
I know.
You kind of need the fat in the cookie,
It's
so
disgusting.
they take all that stuff out, and it's really tough to digest.
But
man.
I got to be careful now because my dad the other day, we were supposed to do a podcast the other day, but I told Mike my dad had to go to the hospital. He couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
And, he got to the hospital, and they were like, listen, he has congestive heart failure.
What
so I
the
was like, oh, my
fuck?
God. So, like, they do all these tests and whatever, and they're like, the doctors are coming in and like, he has congestive heart failure, and then they do the actual heart test, the echocardiogram.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, he doesn't have congestive heart failure. They're like, he just has so much fluid backed up in his lungs because this happened Monday.
Yeah.
The day before Sunday was the NFL playoffs, and he ate 10 slices of pizza and a whole plate of buffalo wings. so
a bit too much salt. Is
too
what
much.
You're saying?
He had so much sodium in his body that it looked like he had congestive heart failure, and he almost knocked himself out.
Yeah.
So and they were like, but they were like, obviously, like they're still, he's got to get tested again this weekend just to like rule stuff out. But my friend who's an ER doctor was like, yeah. Tell your dad he's 72 years old and a diabetic. He can't eat 10 slices of pizza, buffalo wings, and drink a 2-liter of soda just because the playoffs are on.
Right.
He can't do that.
Well, but he's like 70, I think, right?
I think my dad's 72 years old.
Oh,
now.
72. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm a little older than you. You got to let him go.
Yeah. Oh, well.
You let him go. You're the one that is at home with anxiety, panicking, thinking, why won't my dad take care of himself?
Right.
Guess what? He has lived his fucking life. He wants
Exactly.
his fucking pizza. He wants his wings, and he wants to watch his football.
Well, two things. So first point, yes, I said to my dad, I said, Dad, you got to be careful. And I swear to God, his exact quote was, he goes, I'm not going to be a vegan homo like you. And I was like, I'm not a vegan. But he said in the hospital, he's like, I'm not going to be a vegan homo like you.
Like you.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, well, I'm not a vegan, but okay.
Does he call you a homo a lot?
He calls me a homo, like... He's never says faggot because I think he knows that's derogatory now, and he won't say it. But homo, I think it's not as much sting on that.
Yeah.
And he calls me a homo, like for example, and this is why because I was really nervous going out there to the hospital, because you hear congestive heart failure. I'm like, fuck, what's happening? So then I get out there, and he's on the oxygen tank, and he's joking around with the nurse, and the nurse comes in. And, and I started to get like, even though he was, making everyone uncomfortable, it was making me more comfortable that he was just joking around being himself. I'm like, okay, he's going to make it. But the nurse comes in and she goes, oh, Mr. DiStefano, we have to take your temperature, but it has to be rectally. It's, it's the most accurate. It's important for us to know. So I can do it. She said, I can do it or you can do it. And then to him, says you could do it yourself or I can do it. And my dad goes, Chris, what do you think? You're the one who's into butt stuff. and I was like, I was like, Dad, you know what? You do it. And then he goes, nah. He goes, what? He goes,
I'd rather die.
He said.
He probably said, I'd rather die.
He said, how many chances? He said, how many chances am I ever going to get to have a nurse do this?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's into it.
And so she did it. And she was laughing, because I'm sure she was uncomfortable. But I think these nurses deal with dirty old men all the time. And that's another part of it. It's like, listen, he's an old guy, my dad. Right. He's nervous. Like, just let him. Obviously, if he's going to put his hands on you, that's off limits. But if he wants to, I think that's why I like the nurses on Staten Island. They're real people. Like, she's a real woman. Like, if we were in some trendy hospital downtown Manhattan or like Portland, they would be like, oh my God, like, I'm offended. Right. But these women are like, look, The guy's fucking thinks he has congestive heart failure. If he wants me to put the thermometer in his butt, I'll do it for him. No problem.
If he's on the way to ICU, he should be able to put a hand on the butt of the nurse.
Exactly.
Right?
And here's the second thing, because we obviously been speaking through text and stuff, but I haven't come on the show.
Yeah.
My anxiety is actually at close to a 0.
Beautiful.
I'm a different mentally.
Yeah.
I'm a different person. My mental health is different than the last time I've come on the show for 2 reasons. One, CBD oil has changed everything. CBD oil in my coffee. Sometimes I rub it on my fingers, put it in my own butt.
Good for you.
I just calm it down. 2,
Yeah.
I've stepped fully away from Catholicism.
Yeah.
And Catholicism is not a part of my life at all anymore.
Right.
And removing myself from religious guilt and feeling that I have to live my life by what my mother and priests and Catholic school told me to do. Removing myself from that and understand I'm accountable for my own actions.
Yeah.
My guilt has went to 0. My guilt and anxiety has almost went to 0.
You probably left religion and you now know they're not going to touch you anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. Father Bill can't touch me anymore. And also, it was an energy thing. I'm 34 years old. My daughter's 3. I started realizing, like, hey, I only got a finite amount of energy each day.
Yeah.
I can't use it obsessing about anxiety, depression, and guilt. Number 1, it's narcissistic.
Right.
Number 2, my daughter needs this energy in a positive way. She can't have me, sitting in the corner worrying about what's going to happen. Now I live my life. If it's not going to matter in 5 years, I don't give it more than 5 minutes.
That's really impressive.
Yeah.
That's not easy to cure yourself.
Not at all.
Do you meditate still?
I still meditate.
Nice.
I was doing transcendental meditation, but now I do this meditation guided app because it was too much for me to do 20 minutes twice a day. It was like, I can't fucking do this anymore. So,
which app are you using?
It's called Waking Up.
Waking Up, okay.
Have you heard of it?
Not that one, no.
It's with a guy, Sam something. Nikki Glazer actually posted it on her Instagram.
Oh, is she into the whole meditation thing now?
So I said,
now that it's trendy.
Yeah. So I
love
took
Nikki.
Yeah, I love Nikki.
Okay,
so I took it. Yeah, baby. So I took it from Nikki's advice, and it's so far things have been good. I still have anxiety, and I'm still have a weird mind. I'm still the kind of guy like I fall in love with men, but have sex with women. Like I still have a weird
we're gonna talk
brain.
about that.
But I just
I think this is the year that you do it.
Yeah, I just feel better.
2019 is the year that you.
Yeah, and
unless you have already.
And I bought a place. I'm a homeowner now. So
a homeowner.
I'm a homeowner.
Oh, I thought you were finally going to admit something here on the OpieRadio podcast.
I sucked a guy's dick in Houston.
Did you really? Because I heard you talking about that on your podcast, and that was one of the questions I wanted to ask you. I'm a big fan of
CBD oil makes me gay.
I'm a big fan of History Hyenas with you and Giannis Pappas.
Thank you.
And you keep hinting that you might have sucked a dick in Houston. What's going on there?
And I'm just kidding. I just go wild.
Why would you look us in the eye and just say, I'm just kidding?
Giannis is on a plane right now, and his pilot was Middle Eastern, and he got off the plane.
Really?
It's fucked up.
Well, with the government shutdown.
That's what he's saying.
That's a double combo, I think. That's two scary things.
I'm flying tomorrow, and I'm actually nervous about it with the government shutdown.
I think you got another week or two, but then one of those planes are going to go down. I think you're good for another week or two.
But why do you think it's going to go down? Because somebody's going to get some slip past TSA or the air traffic controllers?
No, I think it's air traffic controllers.
That's the issue, right?
And
that's what we want to say publicly. Yeah.
And that and maintenance is not up to snuff. So
we're getting on planes right now that haven't been looked at.
I don't know.
Maybe not today.
I don't know to what extent, but maybe right now they're not really cleaning the cabin too much.
Right.
But eventually they're going to not be checking the screws.
Right. So
but let's not talk about that. Your anxiety's good, Chris.
Yeah,
it's good, man. And I want to go back to your dad for a second because when they get to that age, you're going to be the one that worries. You have a sister, right?
No, I'm an only child.
Oh, you make believe you have a sister?
Well, no,
you're
I do.
Fucking special, you piece of shit.
I do jokes about having a sister because that's actually about another kid in my life, my baby mama's son.
Oh, really?
So and it's too much to say. Hey, my ex's kids, this, that. So I'm just like, you know what?
Okay.
Here's my sister. A lot of my comedy is about here's what my mom does, here's what my dad does, here's what my sister does. Quotes. But it's really not. Like, I'm seeing what other people are doing, and I'm just putting it in, different family members to try to be relatable.
I feel better because I've known you a long time, and I'm watching the Comedy Central special, 38-inch waist.
Yeah.
And you're doing a whole bit on a peanut allergy, which is one of my favorite bits.
Thank you.
And you're talking like it's your sister's kid, and I'm like, this son of a bitch never told me he had a sister. So I want to confront you with this today, and it turns out, okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. You're still an only child.
And I appreciate you saying you like that bit. And that's why I'm happy to do your show, because podcasting now, this is like doing if I'm going to move my career, move the ball forward, and people are going to watch my special, it's doing shows like this. Like my publicist, and I have a fucking, I hired a publicist because you have to, know. I'm trying to like take this career seriously. So
so you don't end up in a lounge. In a
so I don't am locked up in a room with the guy who looks like he's from the Complete Cookie Package.
Very nice. This used to be the janitor's area.
Yeah.
Now I got a couch. Look, Velcro.
Yeah. It looks like when I was teaching, when I was a pediatric physical therapist and I would work with the kids with special needs.
Yeah.
They had this room. It was called a trauma room where like they would just, all the walls would be padded, and then we would just let them go in there and just bounce themselves off the fucking walls until they knocked themselves out.
It's pretty accurate because this couch saved me from Gary Busey beating the shit out of me.
Really?
And the fact that it was a small space.
Wait, what happened? Tell me about that. I don't know.
I love Gary Busey, and it turns out he loves me.
So, but he was in here with you?
He was sitting right next to me, punching me. How many times did I get hit? I got hit
10
in
or 12.
I got hit in the sternum. I got hit in the shoulder.
But he was hitting you seriously.
Yes.
Why? Because he's just on
crack? And then
crack?
he told me we're going to wrestle. And I'm like, we're not wrestling.
Like you stopped the show. You're like, get off the show.
No, I wanted more. And then he wanted.
He wouldn't leave.
And then he wanted to do headbutts.
Why?
And then he strangled me in the hallway when we were trying to take pictures.
What a psycho.
Because
he's a 5-year-old boy. That's exactly.
No, he fell off a motorcycle. He's got a hole in his head that has a plate. He let me feel the hole in his head.
So he has a mental illness at this point. Well, he's had one.
You knew you had to be on guard.
Right.
Because, me and you can fool around. I know you're not going to really hurt me. With him, I'm fooling around with him, and at any second, he could snap like a cobra.
And then before he's beating the shit out of you.
But I loved it.
It was probably
I
great
loved
radio.
every moment of it.
Yeah.
I felt alive.
Yeah, see, and that's what I'm saying. And that's what that's what the people want. They don't, listen, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like I was saying, my publicist, great person.
I want to explain why you're doing my podcast, not because I'm looking for the compliment, because I think I know where you're going with that. So
because why I'm doing your podcast is this exact reason. Because it gives fans of comedy or fans of entertainment or, hopefully the fans I get from you, it gives them an opportunity to really know me and really know my comedy in its rawest form. Where you do these late night shows now,
right?
Ever since I did Letterman in 2013, and Letterman was like the edgiest you could be, and of course you can never curse on late night, that's fine, but you could do jokes about kids having peanut allergies and all that stuff because Letterman was cool like that. Nowadays, all these The Tonight Show, Late Night with James Corden, all these guys, their bookers are in such fear. They're so scared of getting sued or offending someone that the comedy that gets on is bullshit. So they wanted me to do it, and they're like, oh, you can't do the joke about the peanut allergy. You could do jokes about your daughter being Puerto Rican, but you can't imitate her in a Puerto Rican accent. I'm like, then I don't want to do your show.
Oh,
and
my God. That's the funniest stuff.
Yeah, and people are locked in this old school mentality, some of my peers, where they think the late night matters. Like, who gives a fuck? Right. I gladly was like, if you don't want to put it on the way I want it, I will 1,000% have no issue not doing your show.
Yeah.
I'll just come on a podcast. And I went on, coming on this, I went on Bert Kreischer's podcast last week. Theo Vaughn.
Hilarious.
And my Instagram account went from like 102,000 to like 118,000 just from doing Bert's podcast.
Wow.
So it's like
don't check your Instagram after you do my podcast.
Well, yeah.
Give me a week.
I want to do another Reddit. Oh my God! Thank you for the Opie fans who signed into the Reddit and called me a homo and told me we don't know who you are.
I think they
told
love
me to fuck myself.
I got a point on that. So Patrice O'Neill, a million years ago at this point, taught me a valuable lesson, and I didn't know the lesson at the time, but I certainly know it now. And every chance I get, I'm gonna fucking say this for the young people out there, because they don't understand comedy. Right. They don't understand that you go after some of these dark subjects and topics to take the fucking piss out of it and to help you like just deal.
Right.
With this
exactly.
Okay. So with the peanut allergy thing, right? I got a nephew that has a terrible peanut allergy.
Right.
Terrible. Like they're always watching him. One bee sting and he could be, done. Okay. Yeah. But I find jokes about it hilarious. And the fact is, That's how it should be. You could take a subject very seriously,
Yeah.
but you could also laugh at that exact subject as well.
When I was a pediatric physical therapist, I knew I was a comedian, and they, used to have benefits all the time for children with disabilities.
Yeah.
And every, I did 3 shows. Two of the shows for, different foundations, they were like, be squeaky clean. Do not mention any jokes about disabilities and blah, 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 blah. And the shows were okay. One of them I did. And I asked the lady, I said, are you sure? She said, absolutely. She said, look, you can make fun of whatever you want.
Yeah.
You want to do a disability joke? Fine. She's like, we love our children.
Right.
We know the comedians support these children. We just want to laugh. And it was the best fucking show.
Yeah.
Still to this day, one of the best shows I've ever done because, Kevin Brennan was on the show. He called the crowd retards. They loved it. They loved it. They were dying laughing because they know it's just comedy. Like, nobody really means it. You know what I mean?
Is really important, and they don't understand this. And the people that are making the decisions don't understand this.
Yeah.
I would never think you have hate in your heart when you're doing your comedy. And
No.
you go after some good fucking topics, Chrissy.
Yeah.
The peanut allergy one is especially great. In the special, you talk about these people that have attitudes and they have a peanut allergy and they're like acting tough in front of you.
Yeah, I said it's not my actual nephew, so I stepson, but like he would talk to me and tell me I'm stupid and tell me I'm not funny, and it's like, listen, if I hit you with one bag of cashews, your life is over. Right. Like that's like literally, I don't have to murder you, I don't have to leave you anywhere. I can just be like, I don't know what happened. I went in his room and now he's not breathing. Because I dropped a bag of cashews.
Not even the cashew, just a little dust.
Just a little pecan
a little dust.
Yeah,
So
just rub it on his neck.
So you have no leg to stand on.
Yeah, it's like just
in that
be
case.
a nice kid.
Right.
Just be really nice.
Yeah.
But
I did want to go back to your father again just because I want to wrap this up. So my dad, he died at 74 in a car accident, as you know.
I remember. Yeah.
But he was down to one artery in his heart. And,
oh my God.
But he was living his fucking life, and he had open heart surgery twice.
And he was like eating whatever he wants, drinking.
He ate through the first open heart surgery in
my God.
5 years. It's supposed to last at least 10 to 15. He needed another one after 5 years.
I want to get
and we wanted him to eat right, and one of my brothers would get really upset, like, why don't you just have a salad? And we're like, what are you eating? And he's like, I'm eating chicken wings. And we're like, that's the worst thing to eat if you had quadruple bypass surgery. And know what his answer was?
What?
It's chicken.
What?
It's chicken.
It's chicken.
And then you realize, like, when your parents get older, we're still young and we want to live as long as possible. To them, they live their lives, and you're like, you know what? I told a lot of my siblings, let him be. He's done it all. He's raised his kids.
And he went out, and in a way that was unexpected.
Oh, yeah. He went out wonderfully.
He went out texting and driving.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Dude, you know what I want to do? I want to do a live.
He went out checking his grinder while trying to make a left on a busy highway.
You know what I want to do, dude?
He wasn't driving, though. I need to. He actually walked himself to the ambulance and gave all his info in the back of the ambulance.
So then how did he die?
They didn't put him on a fucking stretcher, Christy. He walked to the ambulance. He was sitting in the back. They're like, we got to get you checked out. You obviously have a broken wrist or arm. Right. He got a pretty serious bump to the head. He was on blood thinners because of the heart shit.
So they didn't know to check his head, and he had like a brain leak or something.
No, the brain just swelled, and that put him into a coma that he never woke up from. So
you know what I'd like to do? The next episode, I want it to be me and you. We'll do a live podcast live from Carl's cardiologist's office. Let's do that. Just with all the fucking shit food he eats. How great would it be to just live, just listen to a cardiologist, just tell him that every artery is blocked.
He would just he would have a ball with it. You kidding me? I do what I want.
I do what I want. Yeah. I love Carl so much. It's so he's like one of those, like he's got an Instagram and Twitter that I seek out, and you know whose Instagram and Twitter I seek out? Do you guys know Kyle Dunnigan?
No.
Mm-mm. Oh my God, he's got the funniest fucking Instagram.
Really?
He puts like those Snapchat filters on his face.
Yeah.
Like he does like a Ray Liotta Chantix commercial.
Oh, I seen that. I saw that one because that went viral. That was hilarious.
I mean, and he does Kim Kardashian, Bruce, Caitlyn Jenner, all that shit. It's fucking hilarious.
I hate seeing Ray Liotta in those commercials.
I know.
Why would he do that?
Yeah,
How
great.
poor is he?
I know, man. He comes to the Comedy Cellar sometimes too.
Well,
Ray Liotta.
I all the years I did radio, he was one of the few that I was intimidated by. And I'm
yeah.
not intimidated anymore because those dumb Chantix commercials.
Yeah,
Well, you see his arm when he's trying to throw the ball to the dog?
Yeah, he's got a broken arm.
Right.
Yeah.
He can't even throw it 10 feet in his tiny backyard.
But he's the next one that's going to go off the rails.
What do you mean?
think?
Because he's on Chantix. That's what Mel Gibson was on.
Oh, really?
When he did the Sugar Tits bit.
Really?
He drank and he had a couple of drinks.
Yeah.
But he was on Chantix, and Chantix fucks with your brain.
Interesting. I never knew that.
That's Robert, also known as Littlefoot. We learned he has a size 6 foot.
You have a
7.5.
You have a 7.5 shoe?
He's
Yes.
trying to say it's 7.5.
That's really.
Look at
It
it.
doesn't look like too little. Of a
Yeah, because
foot.
I think now that we pointed out, we're all convinced that he's buying bigger shoes. Because that looks more normal now, Robert.
Why do you have a zipper on your shoe?
He's a 38-inch waist, but
Yeah.
what I learned
But
through
I'm losing. I'm dropping lbs.
you look good. You look good in the special.
Thanks.
No, you really did. What I didn't know was you have a 38-inch waist. I didn't know you had a 32-inch length. You're 4 inches taller than me, and you got the same length as I do.
I got little baby legs. I got a long torso. Sucks.
It's unbelievable.
I know.
Anyway, so the special was great. I made all sorts of notes, but
Thank you.
did you really start 2019 with explosive diarrhea? Because I haven't seen my friend Christy D in a little while.
Oh yeah, I started it off bad.
That's a great way to start.
Just
a new
shitting my
year.
fucking brains out.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking, because the night before, because I said, you know what, I don't want. I was supposed to do shows for New Year's Eve. I was supposed to, go out. I was like, fuck it, I don't want to do that.
Right.
So me and my daughter, we went to Pizzeria Uno.
Yeah.
In Bay Ridge. And then we threw on, we had just been to Hershey Park a couple days before, so we both got matching Hershey Park onesies. And we sat down, we got some s'mores, we ate some chocolate, we drank, I drank a couple of brews. She had her Nutella chocolate milk, and we fell asleep at 11 p.m. And it was like the most memorable New Year's Eve ever. But then I woke up the next morning and just shit my brains out from Pizzeria Uno and Nutella chocolate milk and beer.
You think you had food poisoning, or did you get a little bug?
I think I might. No, I think it might. I don't know if it was food poisoning. I think it was all the mixing.
Yeah, that's
of
a
stuff.
lot of different stuff.
And then I was sneezing a lot, so I took a Claritin D.
Ooh.
So to mix an antihistamine into all that was just like the.
Yeah, it was the perfect combination. Oh, you were gonna say something, Robert? Oh, okay.
Robert Zipper shoe. Zipper foot.
Yeah, right. How's your daughter doing?
She's good, man. She's 3.
I love her on Instagram.
Yeah,
she don't give a shit.
I know. I was trying to do like a promo and be like,
Right.
tell them to watch my special. And she was like, no.
No.
Yeah. She wants, so obviously she's 3. So it's like to get her to sit down and do anything, just to even like shows she wants to watch. Like, she's moving around. She wants to get this toy, get that toy.
Yeah.
I put on my special for her. I put it low and I put it on, and she sat for all 60 minutes. She didn't move once, even through the commercial breaks. She just sat and watched, because we had a DVR. She just sat and watched and didn't laugh once. So I've never seen her sit still for 60 minutes.
Yeah.
She sat and watched my whole special. People would laugh. She would look up at me, then look back at the TV, and literally didn't laugh and didn't say a word. After the special was done, she got her blanket, went into her back room, and took a nap.
What do you think she was thinking?
I don't know.
Did you get notes the next day?
No, I mean
She obviously is curious. That's like, oh, that's my daddy on the TV that I watch what's her TV show? Probably like a Peppa Pig
TV show right now. Yeah, she's
Kinda like
big into
that.
Peppa Pig.
You don't have Yo Gabba Gabba. That was a big one for us,
No.
but you can't find that one on TV anymore.
Well, it's Peppa Pig, but now a lot of them are just like, they're not even shows. Like you just go on YouTube and play,
yeah.
like Daddy Shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Daddy Shark song.
Yeah.
She'll watch that.
Yeah.
There's all episodes for Daddy Shark.
And is she watching other kids open up their toys?
Yep.
yet?
She watches that.
Such a weird culture with these kids.
On YouTube. It's
They-
like
they know-
unboxing for kids?
Yep.
My kids know other families better than their own family,
Exactly.
meaning me and my wife. And
Do your kids watch that family play video games? Like all they do is they watch other families play video games?
well, that's a biggie. Well,
Yeah.
those channels where people are just playing video games, they get massive.
I mean, those people are
fucking numbers.
multimillionaires. who
Yeah,
do
they
that.
are.
Like truly.
Oh,
Yeah.
the guys on Twitch.
No,
Yeah.
well,
Oh,
it
through
started
YouTube?
on YouTube as well, and then Twitch really took it to the next level.
Do we
but
have to get Twitch now? Is that like if we want to be in
I
entertainment,
ca-
we have
I-
to have Twitch?
I guess. I mean, I've been to the top of the mountain, so I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah, see,
I'm in a
that-
lounge talking to you,
Yeah.
hoping to get a few fucking downloads.
Yeah,
That's
see-
all I need now, Chris.
Yeah, it's
No more stress, no more pressure. I don't have to be a boss anymore. I'm just hanging and having a good time.
You know what? Like I haven't been anywhere near as high as you, But like just to be like the last 5 years, like I've made like a really good for me like living doing this, and now that I like own a place and like have everything in order, I was really thinking about it's like I don't care if I ever like get in a movie or like it's almost like I don't want to be famous because then my whole life will be taken apart. I want a career where
and then everyone wants to grab you and pull you the fuck back down to earth.
I don't want it at all. It's like I want a career where it's like I'm selling tickets to my fans, and I can do that in perpetuity and have a Patreon and people and like I don't need to be this mainstream famous guy. I don't need it anymore. I'd rather not have it. I'd rather be able to make a living. Like if you told me I could make what I make, now and do that every single year, I mean, it'd be fine. Where like, what I make in a year, which more than satisfies my whole life. If Kevin Hart made, that's what Kevin Hart would make in a week.
But see, he's downplaying it. I went downstairs to get him. We're only on the 4th floor. He got recognized 3 times before he even got up to this floor. And that's out of 4 people that we saw. So, I mean, he's downplaying it. Chris is pretty well known. And that's if comedy survives, by the way, because getting back to that point, which scares you, you should not worry about any of that and just do your stuff because anyone with a brain knows you don't have hate in your heart and you're a loving human being. Yeah. And I mean that. We could go back to jokes, but I did want to make that point. I
appreciate it.
But the problem is the youth of America, this new generation, this might be the way they want it, which scares me because I think it's our job to try to explain comedy to them and what they're doing wrong. But I don't think they want to hear the message.
Not at all.
I think they want really incredibly safe comedy now that doesn't piss off anybody in the comedy club.
And it feels like they want a lot of revenge. I mean, I know it was like a big story, and I'm sure you guys talked about it. But like, that whole Kevin Hart Oscars tweets thing, it's like, if you have to go back 10 years and find any homophobic tweets, then clearly the man has changed and you're making a stink because you just want revenge. Because if you wanted him to change, then you have the evidence he has. It's like all these people are always like, oh, actions speak louder than words. Until you want to take somebody down, then all of a sudden it's words speaking louder than action. So it's all this, to me, man, it really feels like a lot of weak people. They're so fucking weak. Just trying to get a foothold in this business. It's like my goal for my comedy is obviously I want to sell tickets, and also like I just want the respect from my peers that I'm one of the comedians that they said, you know what, Chris would have been funny in any decade, and he's not just funny because of 2019 parameters. I think a lot of our peers right now in comedy are just have a career because 2019 is dictating that they can have a career. Where like you put, legend, like whatever, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Bill Burr, Chris Rock, these people, they're funny in 1979 and 2019. Yeah. But some other guys, it's like you only have a career because it's right now, and you're saying what these people want to hear, and it's all bullshit.
What's going on with you? Your fellow comics just ratting each other out.
It's gross.
You guys got to stick together.
It's gross. They have I'm telling you, man. Like I mean,
leave that to radio.
I talk about it in my special where I'm like nobody gets punched in the face anymore. The best thing that happened was growing up in a tough neighborhood and getting hit and having actual physical consequences for my actions. It's like people stand by their opinions now on Twitter. It's like you're just standing by it because no one's hitting you. I've had wild opinions, and then someone's punched me in the face.
You get punched in the face. Yeah. You'll think
I would never rat out anybody.
Right, yeah. So, but I think these kids today, they don't want to hear it.
But
it's too fucking bad, and it's scary for you guys.
And it's scary, and it's exactly what you said. It's the scariest part of it all is I think that it's just changing. Right. Like a 19-year-old kid is never going to like the type of comedy that crosses the line. He or she or they are going to like the type of comedy that doesn't cross the line and is more of like a TED Talk with a couple of punchlines. That's what it is.
That's scary. And now, with that said, Comedy Central lets you do some of the gay stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. And I
was impressed by that. And because your dad thinks you're, I don't know. He thinks you're. Did he say gay? Homo? What?
Homo. Yeah.
But he thinks because you eat blueberry yogurt.
Yeah, which is a pretty gay thing to do.
By the way, I swear, and I'm not trying to make a bit, as you're saying that line, I'm eating a blueberry yogurt.
Yeah. I had a blueberry yogurt this morning in the car.
It's delicious.
A blueberry fudge.
And I'll eat a carton of blueberries.
Well, that's
in one sitting, but they have to be cloudy, Chris. They can't be too mushy. You understand?
Can't be too fucking mushy.
Right.
Yeah.
But they let you do it.
So Comedy Central, and they signed me to like this overall deal where I'm going to do a second hour special for them by the end of this year, by the end of 2019, early 2020.
Nice.
A cartoon. We have a cartoon about my life and development. So like that CBS pilot that I had that didn't go.
Yeah.
It's almost like a blessing in disguise because now I could take all that material that CBS, just by the confines of their network, had to make corny and middle America. Comedy Central said, you know what? Take that story. Let's make a cartoon. You want to do jokes about your dad thinking you're gay because you're doing blueberry yogurts? Write the scene.
Wow,
we'll put it out. So they're giving me
awesome.
whether it gets on the air or not. It's like
it'll get on the air.
I've known enough now that like you can have all the shit going for you and it just doesn't get picked up. Powers be, I get it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have a real chance to like just make the show that I want to make and put every joke. Peanut allergies, blueberry. I don't have to compromise on anything. They were like, we've given you the deal.
Right.
You make the show.
Right.
With this guy Dan Powell, who created Inside Amy Schumer, who's a powerhouse at Comedy Central and great guy, and he's a funny, brilliant mind. And he's like, dude, I watched your special. Let's do it. Let's make these jokes. Let's talk about your baby mama. Let's do all that shit. And we'll put it in a cartoon, and we'll see what happens.
When you talk about your baby mama with Giannis Pappas on History Hyenas, it's hilarious. And then you got to deal with your baby mama's mother.
Yeah.
And you have to bring her around for chores. Is that shit based on anything that's true?
Yeah. I just, it's just.
She can't walk or something?
It's just what it is with her. So
why are you involved with everybody?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, like, me and my kid's mom have, we live separately now. We've been together for 2 years. How many times I got to go to the airport and just pick up some Puerto Rican relative that doesn't speak English and be like, get in the back of the Jeep. So, but it's just, you know what?
Are you guys getting along?
Oh, yeah, we get along great.
Oh, good.
I am the type of guy who I don't want any drama with her, or any drama in my life.
Smart.
It's like, look, we have a child, okay? Let's not get on each other's nerves. Like, even in like things like if she wants me, go on a vacation or something, like I'm down to do anything. I just want, life doesn't have to be hard.
Right.
I feel like sometimes people think like, oh, we're divorced now, so we have to hate each other. No, you don't. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, let's just be happy. We have a beautiful kid. We're doing what we want. Like, just stop. Not everything has to be a problem.
It breaks my heart when the couples break up and they use the kid.
Oh, God, it's gross.
Dude, I lived in Huntington, and my landlord was in a bad divorce, and he would have the kids, and then there'd be this scene on the front lawn, and the cops would have to show up because he didn't bring them back in time, or all this nonsense. And you would see the kids hovering like in tears. It's like, how about you leave that shit for when the kids can't hear you?
No, so now me and her mom, we're like very good co-parents. It's all about the baby. Like we do, like when my dad went to the hospital, she came, to like support me. Like it's all good. Like
would you guys
no problems.
Would you consider her a friend now?
I would actually. I truly would consider her a friend.
With benefits?
Hopefully. I certainly masturbate to it.
And then on your special, you brought up the fact that your daughter was not planned.
Oh yeah.
How are you gonna?
Whoops.
How are you gonna explain that in the coming years?
Oh my God. So.
Because my kids are starting to ask questions.
Really?
About being a shock jock and stuff, and I'm like, yeah.
Well, I know that's the thing, man. Our kids are going to hear everything we've ever said or done. I mean,
absolutely.
It's on there forever. So, I'm one of those. I'm the kind of dad who this is what I want to be. We'll see when she gets older. But I'll be the dad that instead of preaches abstinence, I'll just give her condoms. I'll just be like, look, I'm trying not to be naive here. Like I'm not your friend, but you can certainly talk to me about anything. I'm still an authority figure, but also it's like I'm not going to be naive and be like, you're not having sex. You're not. I'm just going to tell you what can happen to you if you take, like our friend Kevin Barnett just passed away a couple of days ago. He took a bad Molly, and
that's what it was.
Oh, that's what people are saying. I don't know publicly. We don't know yet technically.
Well,
but
it had to be something.
It had to be something like that. And, it's like, so that shit can happen. So I'll, like, make my
blows.
daughter aware of those dangers, but I don't know what she's going to do.
Yeah.
So I can't pretend. And actually, that philosophy of it has really just been like a new philosophy to me since my anxieties went down. Because 2 years ago, I would be like, I'm going to track everything. And I realized, like, no. That's not reality.
Right.
Reality is you teach them as best they can how to get out of the jungle, and just hopefully they do it.
We try to be as open as we can to our kids.
Yeah.
We curse in front of them, and they're the ones saying, don't say that word stuff. And then we try to explain to them, like, it's just language. I don't care. This is what we say. Well, I don't care if you hear a curse. We just don't care, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
But if you curse, you are going to get in trouble at school and elsewhere.
Right.
We don't want you cursing.
Yeah.
But we don't want you to think because you hear a curse that it's this over-the-top big deal. Here's Tim Sabian.
There he is.
Where he's going to now distract the
He looks like he
podcast.
needs an echocardiogram.
You want to come in now that you fucking interrupted the podcast and say hi?
Tim.
Yo!
What's up, Tim?
Chris
man.
DiStefano.
Hey,
Hey,
how
what's
you
up,
doing,
brother? How you doing, man?
What's
Good to
going
see
on?
you.
Everything.
Good to see you.
Hey.
You got Vinny Favali.
Who's
Hey, Vinny Favali.
Vinny from CBS.
Oh, hey, Benny, what's up?
Yeah.
It's been a while,
You
bro.
don't know who he is, you lying piece of shit.
Franks and
You were
Bathes,
there?
brother.
And you were there?
Hey.
And you were there.
What's up,
Yeah.
Vinny?
Love your show, and I'm sorry to interrupt.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah,
Out
no
of
worries.
control.
We had-
Absolutely.
I'll see you again,
We had a
right?
great flow.
All right.
Okay.
That's
Love you
usually
guys.
See you later,
Tim's
Vin.
job to mess
Yeah.
up everything.
That guy looks a little Franks and Beans.
All right, Tim runs the whole thing, and he should know better that if you're gonna stick your big fat fucking tomato head
He does have a tomato head.
against the window, it might distract the flow of the podcast.
Yeah. So.
But anyway,
What were we
our
saying?
point is we want to be as open as we can
Yeah.
with our kids, and you know,
Yeah, it's like my daughter, I'm honest with my daughter. Like they told her in school last week, she came up, we were talking, and I was like, how was school and whatever? And she goes, I learned that we're all created equal. I was like, well, that's a lie. I was like, that's not true. I was like, you need to treat everybody with respect and dignity. I said, but what do you mean you're all created equal? I was like, there's a kid in your class who has one arm.
Right.
You have two.
Right.
I'm like, it's not, and that's true. It's like, stop lying. You're not created equal. That's a fucking lie.
Our kids are in a school. There's one of everything.
Yes.
Everything.
Good.
You want to talk about inclusive?
Is it called the
Do you have
Ark?
any babies? Do you have any
Everything.
babies? Like kids that you can't tell if it's a boy or a girl, and the parents are like, we don't see gender in our child. Have you seen that child abuse shit yet?
What do you mean, child abuse?
Like parents who say my child doesn't have gender. I don't see gender in my child. It's a they be. We don't call it a boy or a girl. We just let him or her express themselves. That's child abuse. It's what it is.
We
The opinions expressed by Chris DiStefano were not carried by Westwood One.
No, but we come from a different time where
Yeah.
this is what I say. You got to give us time to figure all this stuff
Exactly.
out.
Yeah.
It's getting crazy out there.
Yeah, yeah. I respect anybody.
Right.
Anybody who whatever you want to do, you do.
Right.
But when you start confusing a child,
Right.
what do you mean you're going to let a child pick their gender?
Right.
Are you out of your fucking mind? He or she is 4 or 5 years old.
Right.
When they're 10, 11, 12, 13, okay.
Right.
But a 5-year-old, you don't let a 4 or 5-year-old do anything.
Well-
you have to tell them everything to do.
Believe it or not, I'm going to take the other point here today.
Yeah, do it.
Of-
and my podcast, when I say something wild, we have a button that says Wei Shun Qian.
I know.
And so I want to Wei Shun Qian myself.
And what does that mean, by the way?
Wei Shun
officially?
Qian is just something, if we say anything wild, and
Yeah.
obviously like we're just kidding,
Yeah.
we hit the Wei Shun Qian button because it just is like, I forgot how it all happened organically. Like there was like a Chinese fucking episode we did,
Okay.
and we said something wild, and the producer accidentally hit the Wei Shun Qian button. It was like some name.
Oh, all right. Yeah,
So
yeah.
we kept it, and now it's like that's how we get away with saying whatever we want to say because we're like,
Yeah.
listen, we're not obviously like how you just said the opinions are not expressed by Westwood
Oh,
One.
no, I don't care.
We just do Wei Shun Qian.
Yeah, I don't
and then we're like, okay.
I don't care. I'll do this on Facebook Live.
Well, no,
if-
but
if
I'd like
they
to have
kick me.
I'd like to have an honest conversation about it
here's-
because I want to see it the other way, but it's hard for me.
Here's the other side.
Yeah.
I'll say this.
Okay.
And no, it's not my kid.
Yeah.
We got one.
You have one kid in the class.
Not me in the class.
Right. Who's
And
a non-gender specific.
They're twins.
Hold on, wait.
Yeah, go ahead. They're
Go ahead.
twins.
Yeah.
And I'm actually going to stick up for this point, and I
Yeah.
disagree with you. So there's
No,
I'm
I'm interested.
There's twins in one of my kids' classes around, let's just say around five,
Right.
5 or 6.
Right.
Biologically a boy and a girl. I'll say
Okay.
it that way.
Good.
The boy comes to school at 5 years old as a girl.
Okay.
At 5.
And
And at first I was like, I'm not going to lie. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I had an open mind. You got to have an open mind if you live in New York City. You understand that.
Absolutely.
Other places in America, I finally have realized maybe you don't need an open mind. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're not going to get away with that shit in New York City. You have to have an open mind. You
Right.
see some crazy shit every day. So I had a bit of an open mind. I'm like, all right, let me see what this is all about. And I was watching from afar. The kid seems incredibly happy. Seems very comfortable dressing as a little girl. And that's how this person is living his/her
Do you think the parents
5-year-old
put
life.
it in his head? Like, have you ever talked to his parents?
His parents are gay, so now we just lost the Midwest.
Yes. Goddamn queers.
They just stopped the podcast. So you got
my dad just turned it off.
So you got two guys as the parents. They have 2 kids, and the little boy is dressing as a girl. I mean, it doesn't get more crazy than that.
Well,
I think.
But it might be a practical.
But this is the cool part.
Because you only have to buy. I mean, listen, now you're just buying one gender clothes. They're buying just 2 sets of girl clothes. I mean, that's got to be cheaper than an outfit for a boy and an outfit for a girl.
This is the cool part about the whole thing. So I'm like, wow, man, this family must get a lot of shit because I'm a stupid fuck from Long Island that I'm still trying to learn as I get older. And a little time went by, and you realize, guess what? The teachers, the rest of the students, and the rest of the parents in this particular school don't give a fuck.
Right.
They don't even think twice about it. I'm like, I learned a little something about it.
And
I personally think, but I'm not in that situation. I do agree with you. I feel like it's too young to go, okay, this is what you want. We'll let you do it. But I'm sure someone that knows way more than us would scream at us for making that point. But
yeah, well,
I'm like, how does a 5-year-old know?
But see, this is good, and this is what I wish more people would do is just have conversations. Because let's be honest, if you and I weren't friends and say I didn't know you and you were another type of person, you could easily take what I just said before, edit it up, put it out, and be like, I'm a piece of shit, even though we just had a conversation. And I'm like, you know what?
Yeah.
You're helping me see it a better way. But because people are just, goes back to the Kevin Hart thing, they just want revenge. They're just waiting for a guy who looks like me, straight white guy who looks like me, to say something wrong.
Yeah.
And then they're like, fucking pounce on you, where it's like, I'm being like, look, the only way you learn is by saying things that are wrong and making mistakes and then learning from it.
Of
so
course.
it's like, there's no apologies ever for me.
Well, that's why, going back to my other point, the comics attacking each other and telling each other what they should and shouldn't do, you guys are fucking stupid because there's a full-on attack going on with stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And if you guys don't stick together and really, speak out, you're all going to be in trouble, man. That's what happened to radio. I get this point, and Robert's probably bored of hearing it because I've said it many times on the podcast. But when Imus said nappy-headed hose, me and Anthony yelling and screaming, that was perfectly acceptable, and fuck Al Sharpton because he's making this into a huge race thing when everyone that has a fucking brain knows that Imus that day was going for a dumb joke.
Right.
Fell flat, I guess, for a lot of people. And then how do you go from a guy trying to make a dumb joke to making it a massive racist issue? Now, hold on, let me just finish this point. We were one of the only shows that stuck up for Imus. Not many did. The black shows couldn't wait for the guy to get fired for that. And I'm like, you all are so fucking stupid because they're coming after you next.
Yeah.
And fast forward, it's been over 10 years now.
Yeah.
Regular radio is just destroyed. No one's saying anything anymore because of the consequences.
Unlistenable.
Right.
It's unlistenable. And that's what, okay. So here's what I think. Here's what I think. Here's what I hope for. I think that because there's still, there's a large majority of people, and I'm not sure it's as big as people think it is, but there's a good amount of people who just want the PC stuff, who just want, say everything appropriate, do basic knock-knock jokes, fine. But there's also a very, very large population of people that just want to hear it the way it is.
Right.
And hopefully through things like podcasting, Patreon.com, finding our content on the internet, they'll be like, we'll come to your show.
Right.
And then we can still have careers. Because I'm liberal. I'm a liberal comedian.
Right.
But yet I'll say things sometimes that are truthful. But if some really extreme liberal comedians heard me, they'd be like, oh my God, listen to my podcast. They'd be like, oh my God, what you're saying. Because for example, I say, as a joke, 3 months ago, the Giants took a bad loss. It was like 90 degrees. Yeah. And I was like, look, man, when the Giants lose and it's over 90 degrees, Chinese people aren't safe around me. It's just what it is. I was like, I'll hit a Chinese person. And, and like Chinese fans of the show, I was like, it's hilarious. Like, they'll send me videos. They're like, the Chinese aren't safe. They're like, Dad, you're not safe.
I'm laughing because a 5'4" dude would kick your ass.
Kick my ass. And that's the funniest part of it.
Of course.
But it's like, could you imagine if I said that just as a joke?
Right.
I'd keep fucking over.
Well, that leads to the Louis C.K. thing and all that horse shit you guys are going through, which is, comedians will say stuff. Let me just dumb it down for people. you guys will say stuff in a fucking comedy club because I say the word that I hate, but I'm going to say it. You're in a safe space, or you thought, because now everyone's taping you motherfuckers, where you're like, I could get away with saying some pretty dark, evil, funny shit because I'm in a comedy club and you pay to see this and see something a little different. You wouldn't say that same shit I don't know, help me out here, maybe like at a Starbucks or at a church.
Well, because you're not performing, right? So the whole, it's wrapped into a, now you're having people make a judgment on the comedian as a person because of their art, because of their performance, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, the joke that Louis C.K. had that got leaked was a funny joke. It's talking about school shooting and highlighting that, but it's fun. I mean, the guys, you pay money to go into a basement to watch someone cross the line.
It drove me nuts to watch like seasoned comedians go, well, if you're gonna make a joke like that, at least make it funny. I'm like, it was funny.
Yeah, and then
guess what? And I got to say this. I'm obsessed with the whole school shooting thing and how this country can't figure that shit out. I take that stuff really seriously.
Yeah, we got kids in school.
Right. So, but I could take that topic very seriously and also find a joke about it kind of funny.
Exactly.
And he was also working on that material.
Yeah.
It wasn't ready for the public, but some asshole taped him that day. But not you, but a lot of comics just ignored all those things that they know to be true.
Sure.
And just leap on and jump on Louis C.K. because no offense to your profession, but a lot of you guys want to see the big guy get pulled back down to fucking earth.
That's what they want.
So they're like, this is our time to finally pull Louis back down to our level.
And 2 years ago, you couldn't find one comedian or even one public person or even one I've never saw one tweet ever about how anybody didn't like Louis C.K.'s comedy. Now all of a sudden everybody's like, I never really liked him. He was never my cup of tea.
Right.
Oh, really? You fucking pussy?
Right.
Because that wasn't what it was 2 years ago.
Right.
And look, what Louis did is like, he shouldn't have done that. Of course he shouldn't have done that, but the guy shouldn't lose his career over it. The problem that I have with all of this is the fakeness. I think when you grow up in New York and you got hit, I'm from Brooklyn. Like I said, I've been punchlined, been beat up. I can spot a phony from a mile away.
Right.
From a mile away, I'm like, you're fake as fuck.
Right.
And I can see it. Like most times when I see a guy who's a self-proclaimed feminist,
Right.
it's like, I don't know. You're hiding something, buddy.
Right.
I support women too. I have a little girl. I want my daughter to be the president of the United States. I want to be the CEO of a company. I want to get paid the same. I'm not a feminist. What does that mean? That I'm just going to fucking cut my dick off and be mad at myself because I'm a guy?
Yeah.
Because that's what these guys say.
Yeah, I understand.
And it's gross. And it's fake. That's what it is.
And when you have a daughter, there's a lot of categories in the porn categories that you just don't watch anymore.
I don't watch them at all. I feel guilty.
Having a daughter has really ruined my my viewing experience.
I feel really guilty watching fucking all the porn I watch.
Right, I can't watch something.
And look, man, it's all subjective. You have every right to have your opinion. Every right.
I know a lot of you guys, and man, I mean, we're all creeps.
We're all creeps. And
not that I'm a stand-up comedian, but I'll throw myself in there too. Whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, if they only knew what some of you guys were up to.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
You know what I think a lot of it is, man? You know what I think a lot of this shit is that, a lot of comedians, growing up, they were, outcasts, and that's where they developed a sense of humor. They were maybe not the best looking guys, certainly didn't play sports, so they never had any attention from women until they started to get famous, so all of a sudden they don't know what to do.
Right.
Like it's different if you're a guy who like you were been getting attention for females for a long time, like you develop like at 15, 16 years old, you realize, hey, you can't be a pervert around these girls, are going to get upset.
Right.
But when you never had any interaction, and I'm not saying that's an excuse, but it's the reason.
Bro, man.
And that's why it happens. You see it
I never had to be a pervert. You
Yeah.
You should have saw what I used to look like.
Oh
man.
my God, dude!
I would just fucking hang out at that bar. They came to me, man.
Oh yeah.
I didn't need a rap or nothing.
You just fucking look great.
Look
man.
at these baby blues.
Absolutely.
I know they're a little saggy underneath the baby
yeah,
blues.
You look like a young Billie Jean King.
Right. Oh my God! Bravo.
So let me ask you this, because I just finished watching season 2 of on Amazon, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes, which I haven't seen. I gotta watch.
Season 2 is great. The sort of the history of comedy from a female perspective in the 50s, late 50s and early 60s, and Lenny Bruce figures really prominently. But comedy was very safe then. It was set up, punchline, set up, punchline, set up, punchline. Nobody was doing. So this show is about telling, real and how comedy has evolved, and fighting censors. And there were laws against the kind of comedy you do today and other comedians do. So I'm wondering if you think, because I'm watching this PC culture and this, are they trying to push this pendulum back? Not to go down a conspiracy theory rabbit hole, but if comedians who are honest and funny can't make money being honest and funny and have to do these setups and you know, is it, that's where I'm afraid that it's all, everybody's going to get pigeonholed and it's all going to move back 60 years.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, sorry. Can I answer?
Yeah.
And then you jump in too. I mean, yeah, we're heading that way, and then eventually people will get sick of that, and we'll move back to like being way more edgy and shocking and all that. But this current state, I really believe it goes right back to everyone gets a fucking trophy.
Yes.
You don't know heartache. You don't know loss.
Yep.
You know, your team never loses. Everyone gets ice cream. Everyone gets a fucking trophy.
Yeah.
Schools don't keep score when they have sporting events. There are schools that don't actually give letter grades anymore.
It's all this attempt at this utopia.
So now you're that person that has grown up. Now you're in a comedy club and they're making fun of whatever. Pick a topic. They're like, what?
What the fuck?
It's like the first time they're exposed to this for some reason. We grew up on the playgrounds and on the school buses where everyone just beat the shit out of each other.
Exactly.
If you had a dumb mole that you didn't take care of, you know,
you got ripped.
It was hell.
Now you have to just you have to be so within the lines, and I think that what I thought. And I actually, Giannis had a conversation with another comedian about this, and it was interesting. It was like with so much oversaturation of entertainment. I mean, you can watch people. You know, millions of people are watching other people play video games and open gifts, and then you have 50 Netflix specials a week, and you have Comedy Central, and you have HBO, and you have all this content everywhere. The only way anybody or anything sticks out if it's so sensational.
Right.
So look at how sensational Nanette was. Look at how sensational this special is. It's like, because if it's just funny and honest, who cares, right? Who cares? It's like, we have that. It has to be with a twist. It has to be, oh, this person did it while, you know, this person's this kind of way and that kind of way. Things have to be so over sensational now to stick out, and it's like just being funny and honest isn't enough.
Right.
But that's why I'm saying, like, I'm a person who I could care less at this moment. If I would never want to be sensational just to be sensational to become an A-lister. Yeah. I'd rather make what I make.
Just be yourself.
And live within my means and live in a 2-bedroom apartment I own and the neighborhood I want to be in. Right. And just perform for my fans, for the people who want to hear me talk about what I want to talk about. I don't fucking care. Like, and I think people go for that. It's like, hey, listen, you want to go for that? You want to go be the lead of a movie and you want to go go out to Hollywood and do that? That's fine. But you better have every single, you want to host the Oscars? Every single tweet of yours, every single thing on social media better be perfect because they will dig. So why even give them a chance?
And it doesn't even make sense because the hate's never been worse.
Yeah.
As it's like, oh, we got to be all inclusive and we can't make fun of everybody face to face, or a comedian can't say certain things on a stage. But then these same people that are being these social justice warriors, they're on their Twitter beating the shit out of everything they can find.
Left eats the left, man.
It's unbelievable.
You say something,
it's all bullshit.
And like I said, I am left. I am liberal. You know, I always vote Democrat, but it's like even I can see like, hey, man, like, this is not. I mean, Colin Quinn's new show, we just saw it, Red State, Blue State. It's fantastic at the Minetta Lane Theater. Like, really, like, I think personally his best work.
It was the first one I wasn't invited to. My stars dropped a little bit.
Oh, boy.
First one. I've been to all the other ones.
All the other premieres?
I saw all you guys having fun there, and I'm like, oh, wow. I didn't even know he has another show.
Yeah. Well, I only went because I when he was working it out at the comedy club. No, I was his opener. So
I love Colin Quinn, for real. Yeah. I do.
But that's all he talks about is like, you know, he's like, I mean, you know, like one of his, you know, jokes is like, he's like, you know, we only have 2 political parties, but 15 genders. He's like, you know, he's like, you know, there's, you know, like the red states and the blue states. He's like, if you want to have a red state where everyone can have guns and you can be racist, do that, then do that. If you want to have a blue state where you're going to go to jail for being microaggressive, then have that. Because what you're having right now, it's not unified. It's not the United States anymore. He said it's different pocket. He said what you can get away with, you know, in Texas, you just can't get away with in Portland. Right. And that's okay. So at what point are you just like, you know what? whatever your local branch wants, that's what those are the rules you have to abide by.
It scares me, the political tribalism. In the old days in Washington, these guys would battle it out, but then at night they're having drinks together and discussing it still. And
now it's
and
party
having dinner together, and now it's like all or nothing, which is so ridiculous to me because it's split almost 50%.
Sure.
So you got 50% of the country wants the other 50% of the country to think like them.
Cool.
It's never going to happen.
No, and it's party.
Either way, by the way, I'm not talking
Yeah.
the Republicans should come on the side of the Democrats.
Right.
You know, it's working both ways. And it's insane that we're going to get nothing done to keep that philosophy going.
And it's party before country now. You know, that's what it is. And that's the scariest part because, I mean, look, if it was country first, then this shutdown wouldn't be happening.
Right.
It just wouldn't be. It'd be like, well, the country, people are losing money. I mean, it's going to get to a point where the workers at the airport and whoever, people are going to start committing suicide.
Yeah, yeah.
And the blood's on the party's hands.
Yeah,
it's if you put country first, this wouldn't be a problem.
If this shutdown doesn't end soon,
it's going to be bad.
Yeah,
I
we're
mean,
going to see something pretty ugly.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what's the eye-opening part about that is like, man, now I mean, look at like just the airport workers. Like there really is like a pretty big divide where it's like, so a guy's missing one paycheck, he can't make ends meet. Like that shouldn't be. It shouldn't be that way. You should be making more money.
But that's how we all live.
Right.
And I'm almost in the all category again.
Yeah. Oh, you still got an 8-bedroom house. You fucking wasp.
Pretty much the majority of the country lives paycheck to paycheck, and that right there
But that's a problem.
That's fucking bullshit too. But let's argue and like your side sucks and my side is great. Guess what? Both sides aren't great. I hate to tell you that, but is your life that much fucking better?
Yeah.
You're living paycheck to paycheck as well.
I'm happy that guy left.
Robert Littlefoot?
Yeah, get Littlefoot out of here. His zipper shoe was pissing me off.
What, was he making you have some anxiety?
Fucking no, I like Robert.
We like Littlefoot too. And you, Chris. Hey, by the way, Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and Indulgences.store teamed up with Halo Healthy Tribes. They partnered to create an indulgent line of hot beverage mixes. Great Valentine's Day gift. Here's Gregg to tell you all about it.
Oh yeah, we have a new sponsor to the OpieRadio podcast. Want to welcome Indulgences.store. That's right, Valentine's Day is fast approaching. What are you going to do? Flowers? No, don't do the flowers. Or you could do the flowers as a side thing, but why don't you try something new? Chocolate, really? Again? This year, do something original and indulgent for Valentine's Day. Something that rings the bell. Indulgences.store. Together with Halo Healthy Tribes, Indulgences.store has hot beverage mixes. All you have to do is add water for some of the most sumptuous mugs of hot cocoa and other flavors. They made me say sumptuous. I can tell you this much, it's delicious. And here's the problem. They said, at this point, talk about your favorite flavors. The problem is they sent me a whole bunch of these things, and I'm down to only 2 left. And I can't wait to try these. White chocolate cream cheese. It's called the Pink Velvet. Also, chocolate mint cocoa called Mint Condition. You can check out more of their flavors on their website, Indulgences.store. They taste spectacular, but they're also filled with spectacular stuff. 100% natural, no added sugar, superfoods. You know about the superfoods, right? Like the goji berries, the maca, the chia seeds, all that stuff. You got some of those natural oils that help you. These spectacular tasting beverages are loaded with MCT oil, in addition to being 100% natural with no added sugar. OrganicAuthority.com called MCT oil the newest healthy fat nutrition craze. They're advantageous relative to other fats because they bypass the small intestine and are metabolized directly into the body by the liver, creating instant energy, and can be turned into ketones for fueling the brain and heart instead of glucose. That sounds kind of cool. If you have heard about bulletproof coffee, well, MCT oil is the driving ingredient. There you go. These indulgent beverages are available in Valentine's Day gift packages starting as low as $39, but step up and be a man. Indulge her with all 6 flavors or save even more and enroll her in the subscription program to get 12 additional flavors over the course of the next year. Act now and get ahead of the Valentine's Crunch. There's a special deal just for my listeners. Enter Opie, OPIE, at checkout and save 10%. In addition, if you order before February 3rd, you'll also save $5 off shipping and handling. So, act quickly to save money. Get Valentine's Day covered with the gifts you'll appreciate and that lasts and is enjoyed for months. Go to the website. Check it out for yourself. That's indulgences.store, promo code OPIE for 10% savings. And save yourself the grief. Remember, it is indulgences.store. Don't screw that up and type that .com, not here, because it won't get you to the right place. That's indulgences, with an S, at the end, .store, with the promo code OPIE, O-P-I-E.
Quick phone call before we get back into the show with Chris DiStefano at 888-505-OPIE.
Opie, Carl, Joey, it's Mark from Philly again. Just wanted to say, just caught up to 76, and just another amazing couple episodes this week. Great job, as always. But I did want to call and give a shout-out to the douchebag that Cream Face, or whatever the fuck his name is, that called. Fuck your Patriots, okay? You're only there because of a phantom fucking roughing the passer. Brady's a fraud. He's a cheating-ass bitch. LA's going to smack your shit out of you. You lost to my backup quarterback on the Eagles last year. Now you're going to get beat by a team that has 7 fans showing up for a home game. The NFL hates you. The world hates you. You're done. You're going to lose by 7. Take the fucking Rams and the money line. See you later, douchebag. Wrap it up, Joe.
We have fighting amongst the troops. Creamy Butters, that was you making that call. Sounds like you got some sergeant from Philadelphia after you. Be careful there in Massachusetts. Like those athletes give a shit about your daily grind. God bless you and God help you. Let's get back to the show.
There's a couple other things I want to get into.
What do you want to do? I want to go home.
We're almost done. Relax.
All
This
right.
is the fun part now.
Ooh, somebody just sent their tits.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see. I could still window shop.
Why not?
Are you seeing anybody?
Nah.
Are you going to go gay in 2019?
I already have.
Have you really? All right, look at that. You're still flirting with the devil, I see.
Yeah.
What are you, crazy?
I can't get away from that.
You need an Irish girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to bring it back a little bit.
Irish girls have
You went wild for too long.
Yeah,
I
now I just need a nice Irish girl with no fumes.
I like the no fumes.
No
thing.
fumes is funny, right?
Very funny.
Yeah. And it's not only like genitalia, like men and women have fumes or don't have fumes, but also places can have fumes.
Yeah.
And no fumes. So it's interesting.
I understand that. So on your special, I learned more about you. A couple more notes.
Yeah.
Did
you think it was good, or did you think I had some holes in it?
No, I loved it.
You thought it was good through
Yeah.
and through? All right,
No,
good.
it's your
No, because I
time.
respect your
I
your
love
opinion
it.
on that.
It's your time, man.
Yeah, because I know you know.
No,
you've seen 1,000 specials.
Yeah, no, you commanded that stage, and the laughs were there. The material was great.
All right.
You didn't puss out.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
I said some.
You found a really good balance.
Yeah.
And you're the type of comedian. Now that we're talking about that too, you do it with a little bit of a wink in your eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're saying homo or this or that,
Yeah.
and some of the edgy material, you can almost feel like you're winking as you do it. Like,
Yeah.
look, we're just having fun here, man. You know, I don't mean anything by any of this, and it's important. And a lot of comics can't do that.
Can't do that. Yeah.
They can't because
Yeah.
the audience starts looking at them suspiciously, like,
Yeah.
"Wait, are you gay
Are you
bashing now,
gay
or
bashing
whatever,
right now?
whatever the fuck?" So I knew about your ADHD.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like you got that under control.
Yeah, I do. I do have that for the most part under control now. I'm telling you, man. Right now, I'm 34. I feel like the healthiest, best version of me right now.
Yeah.
Where it's one of those things where it's like, all those problems that I had, all that shit I was going through, that like turmoil and stuff, it just feels behind me.
Right.
And it feels like whatever's happening next, I can just handle it. Like when I went through like a really bad breakup with my ex, and I was like, oh my God, I was fucking devastated and blah, blah, blah. And then the next relationship I had, it was like, things didn't work out either, but it wasn't like on the floor.
Yeah.
And that's like kind of what I feel like with life now. It's like all that anxiety and depression, I feel like, not that you ever beat it because it's always a part of you, but I just feel like I can tolerate it now. I really, really can tolerate it. I get it. Like, even like me, you know, like if this was 2 years ago, I may be like, oh my God, I can't. But now it's like, hey, what's going to happen is going to happen. Who cares?
I think
we're honest with each other.
No,
I think, and not even about that, but just in general, that's my life now.
I think it's a very important discussion now, very important, because you guys are at the crossroads. You got to figure out how this stand-up comedy is going to survive, because it's getting scary out there. Yeah. But I would suggest you live in the moment. It seems like you're now living in the moment.
Yeah, exactly. If it's not going to matter, like I said it before, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, I don't give it more than 5 minutes, and I just stay in the present.
I'm still working on that. I've worked on myself a lot in the last few years, a lot.
Yeah,
and I had incredible success. I can honestly say I wish I enjoyed it more.
Right. Wow.
I wish I enjoyed it more, because now I'm not on that level. And I'm happier because I'm living in the moment. I was always like, what's going to be the next thing? Or trying to hold on to that fame and hold on to the success, the money and all that. And it just drove me, not crazy, but I was riddled with anxiety and stress and all that. Yeah. And now I just live in the moment. When I'm walking around New York, I literally look up at the buildings and the trees. It's
beautiful.
I look like a retard, a Franks and Beans, as you guys say on your podcast. Like, I'm enjoying the dumbest, stupidest things now.
Yeah.
Which I kind of learned through spirituality and meditation and stuff. Like, you really got to try to, like, just grab the moment.
And that's
why,
be
like, way more aware.
Living life, you know, as life goes on, you just get wiser. Because, like, I even, like, just think about, like, my friend Kevin Barnett, who we just lost. Like, he was alive 3 days ago, and whatever he was worrying about, whatever he was delaying, it's over now.
Doesn't mean shit.
It's over.
Right.
So it's like, just go, because we're not getting out of this alive. Nobody's getting off this planet alive. We're all leaving. Our bodies are dying here.
I don't know. How old are you? 34, you said?
Yeah.
You're not going to die. You might be in that range, you son of a
Oh,
bitch.
where I can upload my consciousness into a robot?
Yeah, I'm going to just miss out.
Fuck is
You were
right.
so close. With singularity and AI and stuff, you might actually make it.
Yeah, I'm here forever,
I'm
bitch.
telling you, with the bionic arms are getting better, and the legs are getting better, and now they're putting little tiny robots in your body.
Nanorobots? Yeah.
Yeah, that just search around and fucking keep you healthy.
Yeah.
And then they're starting to think that you don't even need a body eventually, and they can keep the brain alive through a computer.
Sick.
You might fucking make it, Chris.
Yeah.
Fuck
yeah.
Guys as old as me, we're just going to miss out on all that cool shit.
Dude.
Or you're going to at least go to 100. At least.
Well, we'll see. I got high blood pressure, high cholesterol, so I got to take care of that.
Well, with the anxiety, Les, that should be going down too.
No, every time I put it in, it's still through the roof.
Can I ask you, you don't talk about your mom that much.
Right.
And I was laughing out loud because you were talking about your ADHD and how she put your Ritalin in cheese sandwiches.
That's what she would do. She would open it up and sprinkle it on my cheese because she didn't want me to have to take a pill because she thought she would know that it was Franks and Beans.
Oh, so you had no idea that you were medicated?
Well, after a while,
first.
I did.
Yeah.
At first, you know, because I would say, like, you know, I remember like a couple of weeks went by and I was like, oh, Mom, like, she was like, how's school? And I was like, I'm really focusing. But, like, you know, I told her, like, my heart's, like, really racing a lot. Like, you should go to the doctor. And she was like, oh, well, maybe it's the medication. And I was like, what? And she was like, you know, we've been giving you this medication for your ADHD. And I felt so lied to.
No kidding. How old were you?
She was drugging me. 9, 10.
And they were sneaking medication into your food.
Yeah, because I couldn't swallow pills because I was scared that I was going to choke on them because I had anxiety. So she would sprinkle them in, like... She would sprinkle them in my applesauce or on my sandwiches.
Did it taste different?
No, it tasted normal.
Really?
Yeah, it didn't even taste that weird. But I could never swallow pills. I'd have to break them up because I was a pussy.
Oh my God, you were lied to.
I was lied to. So I did bits about that.
Yeah, and then
I got to talk about my mom more.
Yeah, you do. What's her deal? Is she a
She's
religious
great, my
woman?
Mom. Very, very, very religious. Very Catholic. You know, she was.
She's still holding on to that whole thing.
Big time. And if you say any different, she get like, you know, my daughter, like, you know, she asked, she's like, is the baby going to go to Catholic school? And I said, you know, no.
Wow, we're going through the same thing.
And she's really pissed off, my mom. She's like, I don't understand why you wouldn't do that. And I was like, honestly, Mom, like, I feel better stepping away from it. And I said, and with all the problems we have in the Catholic Church, I don't understand why you're still going. Right. You know, and to each your own. I'm not telling you not to go, but like, if you're going to attack me, I'm going to give you the honest answer with a counterattack, and I can't see it your way at all.
Yeah.
So It's my kid.
I'm actually starting to think that we might start going to church again, but I don't believe in organized religion at all. I believe
To a Catholic church, you might start going?
Yeah, I'm a Catholic guy, or brought up that way, but there was so much bullshit involved, and I couldn't handle it anymore. And then I was literally not thinking about it at all
For years.
I wasn't in a category. I wasn't an atheist or agnostic or anything, but I just didn't think about it. And then I kind of found yoga and meditation with my wife, and it brought, believe it or not, some spirituality back into my life. I believe in God in a very different way. I believe God is everywhere.
I believe that too.
And I hate that. But if religion helps you and helps your life,
absolutely,
then I have no problem what anyone else believes. I really don't.
Same with me.
Until it comes down to the point that my religion's better than your religion, so we got to kill all of you. That's so fucking ridiculous to me. Because if you do study these religions, they all have pretty much the same basic principles.
Yeah.
And that's going to drive people nuts that obsess about the Muslim faith, but a lot of the Muslim faith has a lot of the basic principles that are in every other religion, man.
I know, and that's...
It's the hardcores in every religion that really fuck things up.
Yeah, the extremists.
Right.
And that's why I think, my mom, like, whatever she wants to do, if it the way it helps her, going to church helps her, me not going to church helps me.
Right.
So, and I'm spiritual too. I believe there is a God, and I was brought up Catholic. I still choose to have blind faith, but I just think if I miss Mass, that's gonna not affect me in the afterlife. That's what I'm choosing to believe. It feels like
I believe it. I believe in aliens.
Yeah.
And I believe that I'm counting on them that they got this. So like when I die, they got like knowledge and technology that we can't even fathom. And I'll be okay after I die, because this is all nonsense and we're living in the Matrix. And this, me and you even sitting here, isn't real. That's what I'm hoping for. That there's a way more intelligent being somewhere in the universe, that we're sort of an experiment, and they already got us when we die. They're laughing somewhere like, these idiots are scared to death. They have no idea
how great it gets.
Yeah. No, I got some far-fetched things these days, but it makes life fun.
It does make life fun, and so you're saying you're good, but what's the reason to go back to Catholic Church? Because if you're spiritual, how come you feel like you can't just be spiritual like here? I just want to know the reason. I want to learn.
I meditate every day, and it's bringing me back to a place to just think about stuff and spirituality in general. And some of the churches in New York City are just beautiful. I walk by them, and I sometimes sit in those pews and I meditate in a Catholic church. Yeah. And I don't know, just to kind of like maybe think about stuff more. Like have more of a foundation. Right. But it doesn't mean I'm going to go back to buying and believing everything they tell me again. Hell no.
What kind of meditation do you do? The TM? Transcendental?
I don't even know the name of it.
How many minutes a day is it?
Oh, sometimes like 40.
So you just go it until you don't want to? Like,
what's your best meditation experience? Have you seen some crazy ass shit yet?
Well,
it's very rare with me, but I was explaining with Mike Cannon on the last podcast. Yeah, he was explaining his DMT.
Oh yeah, he did
trip, and I was just blown away. And I related a little bit because a couple times in meditation, I was deep enough where I saw things, and I couldn't wait to come out of it to tell my wife, and then realize that I don't have the capability to explain what I saw. I saw like shapes and stuff that I couldn't describe in human terms, and colors, and I'm like, I finally came back to, or whatever you want to call it, back into the room, and I'm like, fuck, I can't even explain.
So you do 40 minutes? Do you just meditate once a day? How does it work for you?
No, I got to be more disciplined. I mean, I meditate every night going to sleep. I use it to fall asleep, which is awesome.
So you go,
and then I try to do one traditional meditation a day if I can find like time, like 20 minutes, and I'll sit and do the whole thing.
And you just repeat a mantra in your head?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's transcendental meditation, I think. That's what I do.
Yeah, we got our own mantra at our little school.
Yeah.
So we're at a down and dirty school.
Is yoga a
like
must?
we got the down and dirty girls in our yoga.
Fuck yeah.
We don't have the fucking models that are making believe that yoga is good for their spirituality.
You got girls with fumes in your class.
Yeah, they just want to show off their asses and pick up the yoga instructor. We're not in that world. We're down and dirty, meaning we're like where it began in New York, basically.
Really?
Before it got blown out.
Is it uptown or downtown? Where is it?
Yeah.
I got got
Uptown. Sorry.
I got to start doing yoga. I think it just everybody who does.
I don't know if your hips can handle.
Yeah, I got
Chrissy.
fat. I got Chris. I'm Chrissy bitch hips.
I don't know if your hips can handle.
Fat ass.
You're gonna need a hip replacement.
Do you feel so much more flexible doing yoga and so much more better as a as a machine?
Well, after looking like a superhero, now I got to tell you, I've slacked on the yoga a little bit.
Oh my God!
I've been shooting baskets more lately.
Where?
At my gym, we have full court basketball.
Oh my God!
And I got
boxing.
I got 2 herniated discs, and basketball was my sport growing up, and I know it was yours as well.
Yeah.
And I just love shooting. And the guys that are doing the pickup games, they see my shooting skills and stuff, and they're trying to get me in these games, but I'm too scared with these herniated discs because I just turn the wrong way and it slips, and then I'm done for almost a month.
Yeah, basketball's a young guy's sport. I used to play all the time, but now I just have this fear of like blowing my knee out. That's why I box. I feel like boxing, you can always get hurt, you can get hit,
right?
But like the torque in your body is not so much where it's going to like violently. Yeah, you're not going to violently break your ankle. Or very rarely will you.
I hit the heavy bag.
Yeah.
But then I hurt my shoulder. Oh, my God. This is what you have to look forward to.
Yeah.
And then we're almost done, but were you really born with no thumbs? I was obsessed with your special, and I was writing notes.
My thumbs.
No, obviously you got thumbs, but they thought you were born without thumbs.
Yeah, so like my thumbs are like crooked right now. Like if you see
Oh, you got that double jointed
Yeah,
shit.
I got a double jointed thumb. It's like half of my thumb, like the bone sticks out.
Yeah.
So in the womb, my thumbs were flexed in.
Right.
So they were just all flexed in. I had like a contracture while I was in my mom's womb. So when I came out of the womb, the first thing, from my mom tells me is, they were like, oh my God, like one of the nurses said 4 digits on each hand.
Right.
And they were like, uh-oh, supposed to be 10. Supposed to be 5 on each hand. And then the doctor was like, oh, no, turn his hand over. And then she said, okay,
okay.
He has the opposable thumb.
Yeah, because it's tough to live your life without a thumb.
Yeah,
man.
to go thumbless would be tough.
I think if you don't have a middle finger, you're good, right?
Yeah, you can lose. You don't want to lose the thumb.
No, that's the important one. I dated a girl, 6 toes on each foot.
Wow.
But I wasn't lucky enough to see it because the fucking parents were responsible and took one of the toes away. But you can kind of see where a little bit of a space in between. I forget which ones now.
Did you ever throw a foot in your mouth, or you wouldn't do it?
I'm not a foot guy.
You're not a foot guy? Giannis loves feet.
Really?
Oh, God, he loves to suck
it.
feet. He could say, like, I want to see your feet in, like, 10 different languages.
There's not a foot alive that would turn me on.
I'm not attracted to feet.
Not one.
I like
Every once in a while you see a girl with
asses.
some nice shoes or whatever, but nah.
I like big asses, and I'm an ass guy.
Really?
I like a nice ass.
Fumes?
Yeah, the thing is, if a girl's a big ass, she'll probably have fumes, but I don't care. Some of these girls, I like to call them swim-throughs. They're so hot, you swim through the fumes.
That's a great way to look at it. And you did the edible bit on your special.
Oh, yeah.
But you turned me into a cop, you son of a bitch.
Well, I was going to say your name, and then...
but you wanted people to watch the special. I understand.
Yeah. Well,
I was proud that it made you special, though.
Yeah, but the real OG listeners, they've hit me up. They're like, "That, thanks, the Opie edible story," because we talked about it on your show.
Yeah.
So the OG guys know that it was you.
But all of a sudden, a cop is putting you in a cab. I'm like, no, I was putting you in an Uber.
No, you weren't. You walked away. You went on the train.
No, you wandered off on me.
I got out 30 blocks away from my apartment because I thought the 6 was a 9. I live in the 9s, and I got it in the 6s.
Mike Cannon gave me some edibles yesterday.
Oh, my God. Were you going to take them?
I was going to take them with you.
Oh, my.
Would you do it again?
No, I can't
Not
do it again.
today.
I'm
just joking. But
if we get, if I can get, I'll do them again. But we can't, I can't. What happened to me the last time? I ate too much, right?
Yeah, you explained it pretty good on the special.
Because I can't remember if I was making
were
that
at,
up or...
We were at SiriusXM. We got a chocolate almond bar edible.
Sherrod.
But I explained this on a past podcast. These edibles, they got to make them taste shitty because you can't have a beautiful almond chocolate bar and assume that you're not going to want more than the acquired dosage, which is, like you said on the special, half of a square.
Half of a square, and I ate 8 pieces.
Well, you just kept eating it.
Yeah, in the elevator because you weren't paying attention.
You know, I went to an Islanders Rangers game recently.
Really?
In Brooklyn, and I was only 5 rows from where we sat, and I'm with my kids and my kids' friends and their parents and all that. I just start openly laughing, and they're like, "What's going on?" I go, you don't even. I can't even explain. But I saw the exact seats we were sitting in when the first period buzzer went off, and you took off running.
Remember, I thought I was having a stroke, and then remember they made it even worse because they thought I looked like that player Casey Cizikas, so they put me on the jumbotron again, and it was just, and I couldn't feel the right side of my body, and I was like, I'm dying.
The best part was the spear. He thought he had a spear in his head. And I was like, look, I was on edibles too. Like the other side of the story was like, I was kind of having fun with it, laughing, but then with edibles and stuff, you're going in and out. So now I'm starting to think, wait, does he have a spear and I can't fucking see it?
Yeah.
And wait, maybe he did get a stroke because he's like his face is red and he's sweaty. And then I would come back out and I'm like, you're an idiot.
Yeah. And then remember the Islanders interviewed us?
Yeah.
And you wouldn't do it. And I felt like I was falling back. The interview was unusable. They were like, who's your favorite Islander? And I was like, I'm Michael Jordan. I was just saying things like, they hit me up the next day and they were pissed. Like the guy who gave me tickets was pissed.
Yeah.
He was like, we set all this stuff up and you really fucked it up, man.
We only made the first period, and we were trying to get out of there, or he was, and I was trying to like be responsible and leave with him. And they were chasing us because they needed him to do the interview.
Right.
Yeah.
And he fucked up my time because I was going to be on the jumbotron for the second period.
Yeah, and I fucked it up.
We never made the second period.
I'll make you feel better.
Yeah.
Right. So a handful of years ago, and I semi-professional with edibles. I know how to eat and pace and all that. And I was with a bunch of people. We were going to see Eddie Vedder at the Beacon Theater, and we pre-gamed at some bar down the street, and I hadn't eaten all day. Had a couple of beers. We each took a little bit of these brownies, just, up to the knuckle like you're supposed to. And I got the whole bag with me and a bunch of people didn't show up. So I had brought enough for everybody, and then we had more than we needed. So now we're a little paranoid going into the Beacon that we're going to get searched. So me and this other girl finished the bag. And
holy shit.
Finished the bag. It kicks in about halfway through the show. This is Eddie Vedder acoustic, night 1, Beacon Theater. And all of a sudden, I think it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I'm seeing colors, and it's incredible. And the girl I'm with looks over at me and she goes, "You're white." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I am."
Straight white.
No. You're white. Like, pale. And as soon as she said it, then I went, "Oh, yeah, I don't feel so good." So I got up. I thought I was gone for maybe 10 minutes to go, like, puke it out in the bathroom. No, apparently I passed out underneath the bar up on the top floor. I wandered all the way up to the top of the Beacon, passed out underneath the top.
Like, passed out, like fell asleep or passed out?
Just full on. Like, I sat down because there was a line to go to the bathroom, and I just, I'll wait for it to, and then, however long later, somebody, security's nudging me. Like, I'm cool. They're like, "You all right?" I'm like, I think I ate something funny because I didn't even have any beer in the venue. Like, "You drunk? No, I think I ate something funny." So at least I had the wherewithal to kind of snap out of it. I go back inside. The whole house is, incredible. Ed Norton had come to play with Eddie Vedder. Jesus. I missed that whole part of the set.
Right.
And then we're leaving the show.
Oh, so you made it through the show.
I slept through half the show.
Right.
And we're getting ready to leave. And now I get this other wave of nausea again. So I just puke right in a garbage can, right as you're leaving the venue. And these security guys come over, and this one guy looks at me, and I'm like, "Food poisoning." And then he, talks to his ear, and he goes, No, I think the guy you had upstairs had an orange hat. No, this isn't the same guy. Like, totally took pity on me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
So I learned my lesson from then to,
I got one other concert story. The day I was just fucking out of my mind on coke at a James Taylor show with my best friend.
Wait, you did coke at James Taylor?
I never knew you did coke.
Dude, 1,000,000 years ago, Chrissy D. What the fuck? Don't judge.
I didn't know.
Did you ever do coke?
Never, not once in my life.
Don't ever do it.
No, right?
I'm
scared of.
I never liked
it,
and I'm here to say, and it's the God's honest truth, I haven't done it in so many years I can't even tell you anymore. I would say, I don't want to say how many years because then it's going to make me sound even older than I am.
Right.
Let's say well over 20 years.
Okay.
I have no desire. But back in the day, I was in my early 20s. My friend had connections, and we were at a James Taylor show in the front row. half the concert went by before we made it to the venue because we're doing coke and partying at a bar. We come rocking down that aisle like we're seeing Metallica, like, woo! And James Taylor singing "Fire and Rain." I'll never forget it. We're like, "Fuck yeah!" And we pretty much got kicked out of the concert because everyone was sitting down, enjoying and swaying back and forth, and we truly
Drinking
felt
their wine and cheese.
to us it was a Metallica show, and I'm not even exaggerating. We were out of our minds.
Yeah. See, I don't know, man. That's why it's like I don't. I'm just. So,
You're
like
a pot guy.
Well,
you just don't know it yet.
The CBD oil, I feel great with the CBD.
You're dipping your toes in, but you're a pot guy. And
Pot will help.
And don't do the edibles every once in a while. Get a little pen for yourself. You're a pot guy.
But let me, is there ever, obviously I ate too much. If I would have eaten the right amount, does it just go? Because I did get to a point about an hour and a half into the edibles being in my system after I'd already left. I was already home.
Yeah.
I started laughing uncontrollably, and I felt so great. But then I'd get another wave of I'm anxious again. But then I'd be like, I'm having fun. Is there ever a month where I could just eat it and it'll just be fun the whole time?
The whole point is you're supposed to take just a little bit. It's a dose. And you need to let it sit for 75 minutes or so. It just needs to, because it has to metabolize and work its way through your system. So,
but you're part of the I need instant satisfaction culture. So you're like, I'm not feeling anything. I'm like, Chris, it's 5 minutes. You're like, fuck that. You had another square. It's like, you're messing up your whole buzz.
The pens, because you feel the intake of the vapor, and it's kind of like smoking a joint. So
I don't do it a lot.
Plus,
myself.
it also, you also hit it a lot sooner.
What's legal in New York? Is it legal to smoke weed out of a pen in New York? Or it's illegal?
Well, if you walk around you're down near the cellar. You smell pot everywhere now. Like the cops are just looking the other way. They're pretty much
outside the
unless
studio.
you're being an idiot, they're going to give you a dumb little ticket, and you don't even have to go to court anymore. I think you pretty much could pay it by mail.
Ticket,
It's like a traffic ticket. They don't give a fuck. But technically, it's not legal in New York.
Yeah.
So if I was walking through and I had a bag of weed on me, the cop's going to do nothing.
Well,
I
that
mean,
depends on how much.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm selling
you
it,
got to have under
trouble.
an eighth. Yeah, you got to have under an eighth.
Just have a little bit. But I talk a big game. I don't really do this that much, to be honest with you. And the other part of the edible story is the fact that you were texting all of us 2 days later.
Yeah.
You were still feeling it.
I was still feling high. I remember I woke up, I had bloodshot eyes. I was like, am I still supposed to feel woozy?
I would get texts like, hey, Hope, you awake? Just a text message. Oh, come on, man, write me back. Because I don't know, I was doing something. He's like, how are you feeling? And then he would explain his symptoms. Are you feeling any of these things? And I was like, I wasn't feeling anything because I took a lot less than you, but I didn't want to help your anxiety or your paranoia. So I'm like, I'm still feeling that and that. Yes, I still feel like I have a spear in my head.
Dude, I was fucking. I never did it again since then.
I want you to do it in the right circumstances.
But just take one bite.
A small little dose. But whatever. We could just hang and get a burger too. Hey, I did all this research and I know you want to go, but no,
I don't care.
So the History Hyenas is a great podcast. You want to explain the podcast for the people out there?
Yeah, so the History Hyenas, it's me and Giannis Pappas, and we talk about history, but we go wild with the history. It's not just a regurgitation of what happened. We'll talk about Queen Elizabeth or Mary, Queen of Scots, or Bloody Mary, and put ourselves in a situation with them. We'd be like, would you have banged out Queen Elizabeth?
Yeah.
And it's here's facts about her. Go, would you bang her out?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Or we'll say, we'll do episodes. One of the best episodes we ever did was about the Battle of Crete during World War II when the Nazis invaded Greece, and Giannis's mother was able to recount she was alive during that battle, and there was what the Nazis, because the Greeks, when it was mountainous terrain, Crete, when the Nazis had it taken over, there were still Greek soldiers that they didn't know about, and they were laying in the mountains and picking the Nazi officers off with sniper rifles. So when the Nazi army had to move to the next town because taking it over, and they kept getting sniped, they kept getting picked off, they would take the youngest woman in the village, the youngest teenage girl, 14, 15-year-old girl in the village, pretty girl, always, they would make sure she's always pretty, and they'd tie her to a pole on top of their tank, and there'd be a German Nazi soldier with a gun to the girl's head, and if any of the officers or anybody got picked off with a sniper rifle, that girl would get it in the head. And it was Giannis's mother won.
Isn't that amazing?
One day it was Giannis's mom got tied to that pole.
Isn't that crazy?
How wild is that?
So
fucking Nazis.
So we have an episode like that where we're talking about the wildness of it, but then there's personal stories attached to it as well.
I'm a fan, an actual fan of the podcast. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts. I just can't.
Yeah.
But I like,
I
me and you.
appreciate it, man. Did you join the Patreon? Did you go to patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys?
No, I'm
to
not
get bonus
doing
eps?
that. How about you give me a free fucking code?
Come on.
But I love it because you and Giannis have great chemistry, and you talk about your lives first, and then you move into the history, which is kind of cool. And you find the funny, and you find all the different angles on it. And I also learned shit.
Yeah, I mean, you
from
learn,
it.
like, you listen to Queen Elizabeth's episode we just put out. She had really bad breath. She would brush her teeth with honey.
Ew.
She loved sweets. She never got married. The whole town, the whole country of England thought the reason why she wasn't getting married because she was actually a man.
Yeah.
So it's like all, fascinating shit like that.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I did some history homework
I'm
for
gonna
you.
get all these wrong.
No, there's not wrong. These are things I want you to talk about.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
giving you content, you and Giannis.
All right, great. Thank you.
Let's. I wrote just a few down. Did you know? This is history, real history, that Albert Einstein could have been the president of Israel.
Really?
Did you know this, Robert?
Yeah, he was going to.
You knew this when it was first formed.
I did not know that.
They needed a president. Albert Einstein declined.
Really?
Yes.
He declined.
You knew this, Robert.
I knew this.
They needed a
Are
Jew.
you a Jew?
No, I'm a Reformed Catholic.
Oh, you're not a Jew?
He looks like a Jew.
You look like a Jew. You look like a cool Jew, a J-O-O. Not a J-E-W.
Jew.
Nah, I was in the seminary a couple times.
Really?
That came out
Did
wrong.
he get
but
touched?
No. And very brief, like,
Oh, you
couple
had
weeks ago.
a brief touching?
No. I
you
thought
were-
about being a priest twice.
Really?
Yeah.
You almost became a priest?
And
Wow.
then I just couldn't. The short version is I couldn't do the no girls thing, and I don't believe in half of what. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro. You live your life. I couldn't work for an organization that, where I would have to stand up there, even though they're like, oh, you could affect change from within. I couldn't stand up there wearing a collar, single, unmarried, and go, you're bad, you're bad, you're bad. It just didn't.
Chris,
yeah.
I don't want to interview you anymore. I want to interview Robert.
Seriously, me too. I want to go home.
No, you always want to go home. And Giannis has the same problem I have with you.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it for a couple more minutes. So that's why we get the weird priests.
Yeah.
Because someone like Robert would have been a good priest, but he needs to get married.
He needs to bang out.
Let the priest
Right.
marry, and
You
it'll be
have
a whole
to.
different world.
And all of a sudden, I guarantee you, the minute you let the priest marry, all that creep stuff, the touching of the kids, all that, it's
Right.
gone because once you take the repression away
Right.
from a sexually repressed guy, everything changes.
And not every priest,
Well,
obviously.
no,
is a-
because you'd have more. It's not that. You would have more men and women, right? If you open it up, and men and women who can teach and minister and whatever,
Right.
who aren't derelicts, who aren't mentally deficient, who are normal, healthy people. It's just that the numbers are so low that the organization ignores all of the sick people and let them.
Well,
in.
and if you're married, you could relate to the flock because they're all married with kids and
Well,
have.
the second time was after I got divorced. I thought, well, who better? Because growing up Catholic, we're taught you don't see a therapist when you're in a bad marriage. You go see your priest. What is he going to know about the living with somebody and all
course.
that shit? So I thought, well, shit, I did that, and if I get it annulled, that means it never happened, which is a whole fucked up thing to begin with, messed up thing to begin with, and I could teach. I could help other married couples get through their problems.
You should have been a monk
Yeah, for real.
and just stop talking.
Just give up your possessions and sit in a robe.
Sorry, that was too easy. That was too fucking easy. Sorry. But I don't think every priest is a creep either. But
No, I agree.
You would have a bigger pool to pick
Yeah,
from, and you probably
absolutely.
would get a few more normal ones in there. A couple more, Chris, and then I'm going to let you go. I promise. Before dentures were invented, right?
Right.
People still wanted nice teeth.
Right.
You want to guess where they got the teeth from?
Wood. Dead bodies.
Dead soldiers.
Yes.
Did you know this one?
Well, I think
They would pull the teeth out of dead soldiers
Yes.
and use them as fake teeth for people that were living,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah. That's wild.
You knew that one?
I think I knew that one.
And
yeah.
animal teeth. George Washington's dentures were soldiers' teeth and animal teeth filed down.
And wood.
No wood, actually. That's the.
Oh, that's bullshit.
That's the bullshit. Yeah.
Why?
Bro,
how does that even happen?
How do they do that oral sex back in the day?
Was oral sex even
I mean,
a thing back then?
oral sex is amazing, but I mean, with the fumes,
With the fumes and the wooden animal teeth?
you're making butter all day.
Oh.
Your
In the
husband's on a
South.
horse all day, and
Oh.
now the first thought is, I can't wait to fucking go down on it.
Oh. And a
Are
full
you
bush?
kidding? A full bush. There's everything. There's not even really a shower. If you're lucky, you got one bucket of water over your head.
Oh.
And now you're in your log cabin just
I would
69ing. What the fuck?
I would love to smell what colonial times smelled like.
I bet you would not be able to.
Yeah,
handle
like
it.
it's just a different thing that we're not used to
I'm
anymore.
sure they were used to it, right?
They were just used to it. Yeah, it's just what it was.
I won't bore you with the giant mushroom. You knew heroin was used as medicine, right?
That I knew
Back
in the
the
Civil
day?
War.
Okay.
Morphine, yeah.
This one I did not know. Going back to religion, Pope Gregory IX was in power. He declared that cats were to be associated with the devil worship.
Really?
Which I kind of have to go with him on that because I own cats and they're fucking evil.
So like the evil
pricks.
black cat thing came from Pope Gregory.
I would assume so. They're not grateful cats.
No.
You know, one wrong
And they
move.
don't need us.
No, one wrong move and they're clawing your face off.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't need a cat.
No. But anyway, he thought the cats were part of devil worship and had them exterminated in droves.
Interesting.
Here's part 2 of this, which
Yes.
you could discuss with Giannis the next time you see him.
Yes.
Because there were no cats because of Pope Gregory IX, it's believed that the disappearance of those cats helped rats spread the bubonic plague.
Wow.
Which led to what? I think it was hundreds of millions of people dying in the
30% of the
1300s.
population.
And they think it's because they eradicated cats.
Wow.
Because that one pope thought they were the devil.
Dummy.
Fucking dummy. One more?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
You want one on torture?
Yeah.
Or where the term hooker came from?
Well, Hooker, I know the General Hooker from the Civil War.
You motherfucker.
Yeah.
Good for
History
you, Chrissy
Hyenas.
D.
Patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys.
Do you know what they did for alarm clocks?
Back in the day?
They had knockers up.
No, what does that mean?
That sounds pretty sexy, though. Knockers
up.
People were hired to shoot dried peas from a blowgun at people's windows in order to wake them up in the morning.
Wow.
That was an actual job.
Do you know where knocked up came from? The term knocked up?
No.
So knocked up was a term. It was actually a slave term when they would be on the slaves would be on the slave sale block. If a woman was pregnant, her price was knocked up because she had a human inside of her. So her price would be knocked up. That's
never
where the
heard
term
that
knocked
before.
up comes from. Yeah, so it's pretty bad. Why are you fucking multimillionaire and you're wearing tube socks?
What kind of socks you wear? Feel them. They're nice and soft.
They look like they're from. You look like you got them from a deli.
I got them for Christmas. All right, one more about torture. I'll give you one torture, and
All
then
right, fine,
we
fine,
can wrap up. People in Spain used to employ a form of torture called the Spanish donkey. Do you know what the Spanish
The
donkey?
Spanish donkey?
Yes.
Would it be like a donkey? I'm just gonna take a guess. Tie ropes to all the limbs, and the donkey's walking opposite directions.
Wow, that's a good guess.
It's a good guess, but it's wrong.
Wrong. Victims had to sit high up, straddling a board, while torturers tied increasingly heavy weights to their legs.
Wow.
That could help you, though, because you got the 32.
Yeah, I
You
can
could squeeze out a 34, and then it would match your 38-inch
I got a long
waist.
torso and a fat ass.
Yes.
All right,
I got one other thing for you.
let's do it.
A little treat. Talk to Robert for a second. Nothing bad.
All right, fine.
I just left in the other room. You'll be happy.
All right, fine.
You'll be happy.
You're gonna come in here. I'm gonna be beating Robert up like Gary Busey.
Give me 10 seconds.
Robert, what the fuck? Where's Opie going?
Opie's walking back
Oh
in the room.
yeah, you got my cream puffs.
Cream puffs.
Thank
For
you.
my buddy Chris DiStefano, I gotta explain.
Can we have one now? Can we crack it open?
Please.
Are you
grab
gonna have one?
Yes, I'll
All
have
right, fine.
one.
Because I can only have one.
You-
They're high in saturated fat.
So, just to explain, this is the first.
Robert, you gonna have one?
Sure.
You fucking dirty priest.
This is the first time I had a traditional sit down with Chris since the radio show.
Right.
Yeah.
I forced him to go to a mall and
Threatened suicide.
and talk. Well, he wanted to jump from all these high places, and I got really into this, Robert. So I brought him to higher and higher places, and his anxiety was off the fucking charts. That was before I was doing the podcast. I was just doing it on Facebook.
Nice.
Then I made him meet me in front of a garbage can early on this podcast, and then we had to go to the Cream Puff lady. That's why the Cream Puffs are here today, because I go, Chris, I know we're podcasting, but I have to apologize to the Cream Puff lady because I tried to kiss her.
Right.
And I finally realized that was probably not the right thing to do. The only reason I try to kiss her is because of what Chris is noticing right now. These cream puffs are so fucking amazing.
Oh, my God.
That I felt like I had to kiss the lady.
It's so fucking good.
Right.
It's seriously like the best cream puff I've ever had in my life.
It's insane. Have one, Robert.
All right.
It's I forgot the name of the company. You should give them a plug, even though
Beard Papas.
Beard Papas. They're on the Upper West Side. We love.
Look, my hand's shaking from them.
We love. Well, there's a lot of sugar in those. And then we walked around Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. So it was nice to finally sit down and just like do this.
Yeah, and then.
Although I loved walking around Bay Ridge with you.
And then remember I got a haircut.
Yeah.
And you and Giannis were outside still with the podcast, and Giannis was just shitting on the barbers.
Yeah.
And they're like old school mafia guys, and they listen to the podcast, now they want to kill Giannis.
Really?
Yeah,
we
hope
love
they do.
those guys.
Oh.
And then I went and I had to get a pea cup from your local coffee shop because I had a long drive ahead of me, and I was scared because of all the coffee I drank with you guys.
Did you pee in the cup?
Did I end up peeing in the cup? Yeah, I did actually.
Oh.
He wrote pea cup on it for me and everything. It's
very nice.
It's part of the episodes I did walking around with Chris DiStefano and Giannis Papas.
It was in the summertime.
Those two together are fucking fun, man. We walked all over Bay Ridge, Brooklyn. We did 2 episodes that way. So,
Yeah.
Chris, I really enjoy this.
Oh, yeah. I want to come on more.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. It took me 4 months to get this done finally.
I know I lied about everything. I'm riddled with anxiety still.
Are you?
Can't get out of the house.
No, you're good, bro. So the special,
I want to have another cream puff.
Go.
No, come on. I can't have 2.
Why not?
Because I'm fat.
Oh, no, then have this one.
What's that one?
It's not. It's a little lighter.
What's like an almond ring?
Yeah, it's an almond ring. It's not as much cream inside it. See?
I love the fact you can hear him chewing. Did you guys ever do that
He
bit?
can't help himself. He's gonna eat the whole time. What were you saying?
Did you ever do that bit? When I was in Boston, the Lockwood era did a bit where he would chew into the microphone and callers would have to guess what the food was to win
that's
prizes.
fucking stupid.
He called it trivial prosciutto.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, what an asshole.
All right. So how do they they could watch your special on demand through Comedy Central, right?
Comedy Central on demand.
Right.
Hold
Give me. This is all the
Comedy
plugs.
Central on demand. I'll translate.
38-inch waist is the name of the
You
special.
can see it on cc.com.
Yep.
iTunes. You can buy it on iTunes. You can buy it on your TV, on anywhere, smart TV that you can buy stuff. You can buy it there. You can get me at Chris D Comedy on everything, chrisdcomedy.com. But most important, at History Hyenas, patreon.com/Bay Ridge Boys.
Yeah, you got to join his Patreon so he gets a few bucks to pay his baby mama.
Yeah, because my career is over.
No, my God, for real, dude, enjoy it.
All right.
Enjoy the moment. Enjoy your fucking your time right now because it's Chrissy D's time.
Are you really not? Are you going to have a cream puff?
Yeah,
All right.
but I'm trying to still be professional.
You just made me eat 2. Now I feel bad.
You want a third?
They're so good.
Opie's an enabler.
How many calories and saturated fat and cholesterol you think are in those puppies?
You don't want to know.
It's bad, right?
You've hit your quota for the day.
For the
Like,
day?
And tomorrow.
I actually shouldn't eat anything for the rest of the day now.
I don't know, walk home. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, it's raining out.
Yeah, it
There
is.
you go.
All right.
I should walk home, though.
We did it, man. Chris DiStefano,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thanks for having
My
me.
friend Chris DiStefano. Joey, you know what to do. Wrap it up.
You got it, Gregg. Thank you, Chris DiStefano, once again. Sounds like you're enjoying those cream puffs. Don't forget to leave a 5-star rating at Apple Podcasts. Subscribe. Visit OpieRadio.com for some cool hats, t-shirts, and a stream of this podcast. You can listen anytime. Free. On behalf of the Westwood One Podcast Network, I'm Joey Salvia, and thanks for listening to Opie Radio.
Westwood One Podcast Network, The Raven Effect.
One of my favorite, my favorite Mean Gene memories. He was so amazing. He was so good. Nobody could be as seriously ridiculous as he was. No one did serious ridiculousness better.
The Raven Effect. Download and subscribe at Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Westwood One Podcast app. Free from the Westwood One Podcast Network.